Boy, that's a good way to start. It's a Tuesday here. Tim runs has been hanging out with Chris Putnam, and later on, Congressman Addison McDowell talking about fentanyl in D.C. and around the country and what Donald Trump's doing to get rid of it. An incredible story from the congressman later on. He lost his brother to it, and so this will be a very, very good show. Chris, I got to go. Let me go do all the business here. I got to go pin it to my profile as we do, and then hit the retweet button. And very excited to hang out with you today because you came up with a topic the other day that I did not think about. Obviously, you're in the media business in Texas, and you see this stuff more than I do. But you brought this up, and I'm like, what the hell is happening here? Is it the Fort Worth Star Telegram is being run out of New York, or has like an editor out of? I mean, like what is? Can you please explain to people, because this isn't just a local Texas issue. This is probably an every red state issue. Media is being run from the big hubs. These local papers, or what you believe to be a local paper, is being run by a major hub. In this instance, you found people in New York, but odds are it's New York, LA, it's every one of these major liberal hubs, and they are controlling what we are seeing on the local level. Go ahead and take it over, Chris, because this is very intriguing.
That's exactly right. So with the recent or pending purchase of the Dallas Morning News by Hearst Media, who's based out of New York City, every major local print daily, because there's outlets like ours now that are exclusively digital, as you know, but every major print daily in the state of Texas will be owned by New York or New Jersey media outlet firm. Hearst owns the Houston Express, the Houston Chronicle, the San Antonio Express, the Austin American Statesman. The Star Telegram is owned by a New Jersey hedge fund called Chatham Asset Management, who purchased it out of bankruptcy from McClatchy when they were based in Sacramento. And so it's purposeful. Again, think about this and the chilling impact it could have on Texas, because all of those outlets, as you well know, are incredibly far left. Incredibly. In fact, the other outlets in Texas are even further left than the Dallas Morning News. And you can expect that, their editorial tone will reflect that. And it's already gone very far left, so far left that their public affairs editor wrote an incredible article or a column, op-ed last year, acknowledging their bias and explaining it and saying that they need to do better, that they can't even get Republican elected officials to talk to them. And that's equally true in Fort Worth with the Star Telegram.
Well, I mean, if they know this, then why aren't they hiring conservatives? And why aren't they diversifying their reporting?
What you'll see is like this really weak attempt to represent the right by hiring like one or two. Generally, they are all Trump haters. So they're all MAGA Trump haters. And when they're, they may be arguing, pro-life positions or, other ideological positions that are more suitable to the right, but they're equally off the chain as it relates to the president.
So it's like a Meghan McCain, right? I mean, that's kind of where this is.
Yeah. And, they don't mind featuring those voices, but any voice at all that is remotely supportive of President Trump's agenda, they're just completely shadow banned.
It's ridiculous. I mean, the fact that they continue to even be in business shocks me, to be honest with you, because like when we take a look at it, so just take a look at, again, you aren't a conservative publication at all.
Yeah. Most people would say editorially we lean center right, but that's only because we report stories that the left just won't report. And we're trying to actually show both sides. And we have a very strict editorial policy that anytime we write an article about an issue or a candidate or an elected official, we get quotes from both sides. We make a lot of attempts, and we don't always get them, but we make a lot of attempts to, get the other side of the story if we're telling it from one point of view.
Yeah. Here we are, by the way. This is your headline story right now. Is I love this, the headline for it, Double or Nothing. Southwest seat policy pinches plus size passengers. Again, like it is, you guys are an even keeled reporting organization, and you don't have that messaging in any direction. It's very, very, very balanced. And I mean, again, things that aren't reported on. Biological male crashes sorority. Judge says sororities can define woman. Great, cute. That is.
It's the reason that, Rogan now sources this. His model. He's by no means a conservative.
Yeah.
But, they source our stories, because they understand that, it is going to be more even-handed.
Well,
because you'll see stories in our outlet that you just don't see in any of the left media. Like, for example, right now, the one that's just unbelievable to me is just the lack of reporting, what I call the lying legacy media about Russiagate. I mean, far worse than Watergate ever was. It's not even in the same realm of universe. I mean, it is fully treasonous.
Yeah, absolutely.
And there's, it's like pulling teeth to get them to acknowledge it in any way.
It's unbelievable. By the way, if you're taking a look, that is not the actual number. If you're taking the number of, looking at the number of watchers internally on our thing here, by the way, Chris, on Restream, that's only Rumble, I think, is what that's accounting for. And so we've got about 1,000 people already in on us tonight. And I'm glad everybody's here tonight. If you want to get in on the chat, get in on the chat. If not, whatever, hang out. We're going to have a really good conversation. It's mind blowing to me. Like, is it like one organization when we take a look at this so when we look at Hearst, they're the ones that are running how many local papers, like how many things and it's all the same stories, right? Basically.
Yeah. I don't know how many in aggregate, but in Texas, again, Dallas Morning News, Houston Chronicle, San Antonio Express, Austin American Statesman. And here's another interesting element, Tim.
Yeah.
Our state government, through subscriptions and other means, pays a lot of money to these outlets that are New York owned, New York, New Jersey owned. I mean, tens of thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands of dollars annually. And we have a lot of questions about why that is.
Yeah, why would that be?
And outlets like ours get zero.
Well, why would that be? Because, again, if they're looking at what's happening in the news, a lot of times it's the government agencies that are making the news, and then they're paying to see what they just did. Is that they're paying to see their favorable reporting?
My opinion is that it's kind of like blood money. They're hoping that those elected officials or the legislature is treated more fairly than they would be otherwise. They never are, by the way. They never are. But I guess that's their hope. And a lot of these things, this has been going on for so long. Like a lot of things in government, that nobody ever looks and asks themselves the question, like, what on earth are we doing here? I mean, we're literally, funding radical left, blue state, editorialized media that for the last decade has abjectly lied about pretty much everything.
Yeah. Here's the, they're bragging about it. This was back in July, a Dallas News Corporation to join Hearst. I mean, they're getting these places for a fire sale too, because
no, actually, not in this case.
No.
So the Dallas Morning News, they got an incredible price. And listen to their numbers. I checked actually just this morning. I was looking at their most recent quarterly financials because they're a public company. They lost $30 million. Well, their operating expenses were $30 million for the quarter. That means they're spending $120 million a year. They have 65,000 print subscribers. 65,000 digital subscribers. 60,000 print subscribers. We have 500,000 alone. Of course, we're free. We're a nonprofit. We're not paywalled. But still, like, we operate on a tiny, tiny, tiny fraction of that kind of budget. That means they're paying $120 million a year to lose $80 million a year. And so they were absolutely going to die. But these media conglomerates, they bring them in. There will be a lot of firings, a lot of local staff will be gone, and they consolidate their operations, of course, across all of those properties. And that's what the Star Telegram's done. The difference in the Star Telegram and the Morning News is the Star Telegram was bought by a private equity firm for the purposes of what's called harvesting, which means they dump all the capital assets, sell them. They have no real estate, no printing presses, nothing of any value left other than maybe their brand, which I would argue is terribly tainted, and then they suck every last ounce of profit in it until they're dead. That's until they're gone. Hearst obviously has a different business plan in mind, but that's how that one works particularly. And another really interesting thing about the Star Telegram is they literally just named this guy to their editorial board. Think about this: the Fort Worth Star Telegram editorial board. He is a permanent resident of New York City. He travels down to Texas part-time. and he's on the Fort Worth editorial board. And he might be the single most radical left wokester journalist in Dallas Fort Worth, although he's not actually here.
And this is done to actually manipulate the news. And by the way, I pulled this up. Here's the list. According to AI here, you said San Francisco Chronicle, Houston Chronicle, Albany Times, San Antonio Express, Austin American Statesman. Then also in Texas, the Beaumont Enterprise, the Courier and Conroe, Laredo Morning Times, Midland Reporter Telegraph. People don't realize that their local papers are owned, and there's a pile, and there's a lot more of them. They're owned by one corporation with one governing board that is all lefties, or a majority. We'll just go ahead and assume.
And their editorial boards are as well.
Yes. And so this is how
it all makes sense now, right?
Yes. they are controlling, and local newspapers. And I know that obviously you beat the crap out of both Dallas and Fort Worth. But when you take a look at I know this is a fact, the smaller local papers, the ones that you don't really think about, the ones where mom and dad get to see their kid reported on for the first time ever. They save those papers. They go get those. Those are still reasonably circulated. And you know, they don't have big numbers, but they encompass the community that they're in.
Yeah. And you know, those readers are generally older. They're, you know, a lot of them are baby boomers. It took me a long time to get a newspaper out of my hands and onto a screen.
Yeah.
But you know, pretty much everybody that's, I'd say 65 or younger has gotten there principally, and that's part of the reason their business models are dying. And then they have this Chinese finger trap that they're in. Somebody will say that's racist. That whereby they, you know, a lot of their revenue is still derived from the print side, even though they're losing money hand over fist.
Oh, Chris, reload. You there?
I was.
Oh, you're back. Yeah, come on back in. While he's doing that, I want to show you on the Hearst website, which is where I should have gone. On the Hearst website, here's all of the newspapers that there's a lot more Texas papers in there than one would think. Go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, right. No, I can't remember where I left you, but it is just extraordinary. Yeah, I mean, it's purposeful, obviously.
So hold on. Let's just go through here just for Texas. And again, not to keep beating the drum, but this is just Hearst. So Beaumont Enterprise, Chronicle.com. Then we've got Houston Chronicle, Midland Reporter Telegram, said that earlier, Plainview Daily Herald, San Antonio Express News, the Courier Conroe, Canyon News, Conexion, Cypress Creek Mirror, there's two different towns that's in. The Examiner Heights, West University, River Oaks, Bel Air. Then back up here, Jasper Newsboy, La Voz de Houston, the Lake Houston Observer. I mean, you can just go through here. I can go all day long. The Mule Show Journal. They run Pearland Journal. They run so many tiny newspapers.
Yeah, it's crazy. And again, like you said, I mean, you're a great example. I mean, I was obviously aware of this, but a lot of people aren't. And it's a chilling development, you know, for Texas. We're so prideful, you know, about everything in Texas, and you want your local news delivered by, you know, people that run that business. Eamon Carter was the legendary publisher of the Fort Worth Star-Telegram, right? And, you know, he's famous for having taken sack lunches to Dallas anytime he had a meeting there because he didn't want to spend $1 in Dallas. That poor guy's got to be rolling over in his grave. Yeah. You know, it was the Star-Telegram was first sold to McClatchy, which was California based. They went bankrupt. It's still branded McClatchy, but Chatham Asset Management purchased it out of bankruptcy from McClatchy. And by the way, used taxpayer money to bail out their pensions. Taxpayer money. The taxpayers had to bail out the pensions for their business failure, you know, a lot of which had to do with the fact that their values, their political values, aren't necessarily in line with their readership.
Yeah. This is crazy. By the way, these are the magazines that they run. Just in case you guys don't know what Hearst is, you know, you got obviously things that are non-biased like Auto Week, but then you've got Elle, Esquire. Harper's Bazaar, Men's Health, Popular Mechanics, 17 Magazine, Women's Day, Women's Health, Oprah Daily. Yeah, I mean, again,
it all makes sense, right?
it all makes sense.
Go look up this guy. Look him up on X, William Bradford Davis. So he's the new lead editorial columnist for the Star Telegram that's also on the editorial board, who he makes his permanent residence in New York City. Look at his content on.
So this is him. I plan to give you reasons for your jumpy fits and facial tics. Star Telegram editorial board, based in, he says DFW NYC, but we know that that's not it. That is actually NYC.
I've got the receipts on that.
I mean, the thing is, like,
by the way, that's that post that you just passed, I think, is one. Go back down a little bit. That's what he responded to me on. I didn't actually even tag him on the post, but I was educating people on who he is. And then it's the graphic that's just below that one, I think. There's that one. That was his second response. But the first response, he basically acknowledged everything that I said.
Yeah.
He's proud of it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that is him responding to you. Again, like, this is somebody who is not from the area, who
didn't grow up here, doesn't live here, and he's on the editorial board for the
he's really incensed by you. He's done more than one meme about this.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't understand what he thinks he's doing, but
yeah, he's not. I don't believe he's helping himself. I mean,
here's the people who respond to that who really liked it were Free Haiti, Free Palestine.
It's all what you would expect.
This is again, no audience whatsoever. Also, but he's really broken by it.
And ironically, they complain about Dallas Express because our publisher is a well-done billionaire.
Yeah.
And he's from here. And I'm like, you mean like Elon and X, or Bezos and the Washington Post? It's just always a total double standard with these guys. Yeah, we're Texas owned and operated, and we're free. And
here he is retweeting. So by the way, he's retweeting an article slamming Laura Loomer that I'm sure is false. I mean, this is like what Sorry to interrupt you, but I just saw that while we were
No. This is the point exactly. Actually,
he only cares about New York baseball.
That's who's influencing readership across Texas. And again, a lot of those seniors, by the way, as you know, are right leaning. I mean, they're not these far left radicals like this guy, and they're just so bent on promoting their political narrative and agenda over actual news that they've lost their audiences and they don't trust them anymore. And rightfully so, they shouldn't trust them. After Russiagate, after lies about COVID origins, after lies about vaccines, they still haven't reported about vaccine injuries and deaths. You ever see that?
No.
In the mainstream? No, never.
No, never, nothing.
This woman, was the family physician, Mary Bowden, who went through absolute hell, over ivermectin and the way she was treating COVID patients.
Yeah.
Turned out she was right about everything. You'll never see any redemption for her, from these folks. Hunter Biden laptop, Joe Biden mental acuity. The list just goes on and on and on, as you know. I mean, I don't understand. I think there was a poll not too long ago by Reuters or somebody that said only 9% of people trust the media anymore, and it
makes sense.
It's easy to understand why.
It makes sense. Yeah, I mean, look, I'm going on the media research cruise, media research center cruise this weekend or next week, and it's going to be all talking about these numbers, and they've certainly
Elon has some great statistics out there. I think he's quantified it with data supported that like 97%, of reporters / writers, lean left.
Yeah.
And so that explains a lot. And, then, you'll have this one big outlier like a Fox, right?
Yeah.
But they're just that. They were a disruptor and an outlier, just in the same way that we are. And, the reason we're here, the reason we're growing so quickly is for that reason. People just gave up on it.
Well, I think it's funny because when we were at an Italian place, a bougie Italian place. On the way out, myself and a friend, you were there with dinner with us.
Oh,
Dinner
right.
with us. There was a chick covered in tattoos who I'd love to get to know, who was like, "Isn't he the head of the Dallas Express?" And I go, "Yeah." And she goes, "I know because I've been reading it. I don't know if you were wearing her hat or what, but like, she's like, I've been reading it lately. That's where I get my news from now." And I'm like, "Oh, man, this fucking guy."
We went back. I went back in there the other night with a friend, and she was there, and she whispers to my friend, she's like, "I know who he is, but we're not going to make a big deal out of him." I'm like, "What's there to make a big deal out of?"
Can you take me back there? You should. Putnam.
The famous guy is the guy you're talking to.
Putnam, can you need to set me up. What am I doing? Nothing. Come on now. You're down there getting recognized, and nobody recognizes me at all. They don't care.
That's not true.
Shell says otherwise.
That was actually pretty weird. But it does happen. Like, it does happen.
Can I tell you, by the way, the other day I had my buddy on, Chris Pabst, who he did a book on Baltimore City, and the terrible education system. And the next morning he woke up and his book went from 0 to like number 1 in 2 different categories on Amazon. And I'm like, my number, it's weird because even though it looks like my numbers are down on Twitter and on the back end, it looks like they're down. I don't understand what happens. It's amazing how many people watch this and pay attention. And it's the right people who pay attention.
Yeah.
I'm very happy about that.
No, it's incredible.
And I look forward to more things. You and I think, are going to do more things in the future. We'll figure it out. We might start an Instagram page. We might ask a few questions. Yeah. Which, by the way, I'm not going to dig too deep into this. This is an off-the-record conversation between us. But my entire algorithm, whatever we talked about last night, my entire algorithm, that's all I get all day long. All day. It's stopped being fun. I used to get bikini babes all the time and wrestling chicks. Not anymore. So
the algorithm remains a mystery to me. We do pretty good in SEO, but the algorithm remains a mystery.
It is. Well, here's the thing. The Dallas Express, congratulations, are in order. Y'all are getting picked up by the White House now regularly.
Yeah. So there's some other news on that front I hope to be able to announce soon. But yeah, they've been carrying us as well in their weekly media briefs, e-blasts.
It's incredible. Oh, no. I was trying to show a comment. I knew I was going to do this at some point. Keyboard Warrior, I was trying to show one of your comments and I blocked you. Fuck me. Fuck. So, this is my day. I'm so sorry. I'm sure they're still watching. That's terrible. I'm a terrible. I don't know how to go back and clear it. No. I will figure it out. I'm sorry, Keyboard Warrior. I need to hold on.
But by the way, I have another use case, with respect to this notion that there's just some stories they won't report. So we 2 weeks ago, I believe it was, we broke this story about the Arlington mayor, who's a Democrat, and it had a video that was it was shocking, of him accosting a LGBTQ counter protester at this gay pride event in New Orleans. And we had 10 million views of that story over the weekend. There has not been one mention of it by the Morning News or Star Telegram. Not one. So that's the kind of thing I'm talking about. I mean, and it was crazy. It was graphic. Things this guy was saying.
That is crazy. Yeah, dude, again, like, this is the media is so biased, by the way. It's like,
happens to be one of the only Democrat mayors in Tarrant County.
Yeah.
And so it's not convenient. It's not convenient to their narrative. So they're just not going to report it.
Unbelievable. I apologize to Keyboard Warrior. I don't know how to unblock him. I have been going through settings while you've been talking to try to figure this out. Dude, I've become so tech unsavvy. Atomic saw me on Newsmax the other day. It was a breath of fresh air. I like going on there. And then, of course, Mondami's wait the other.
What show were you on?
Bachman. I'm on Bachman all the time.
I've done Chris's.
Yeah. You've done it a bunch, haven't you?
On his television show, yeah, over the past couple of years.
I do One America once a week now because I like my friend Chanel, and I do Rav with Steve. I do all the networks now, I guess. You know, they just fired one of their reporters over at what's it, Bannon's War Room, I think.
Oh yeah,
an old friend. She took money from Israel.
My COO's wife, you know, Drew Robinson. You met Drew; he's a great guy. His wife has been doing a lot of Fox and Newsmax.
Yeah. She we're supposed to have a meeting, she and I, at some point. I don't know when. We keep talking about this. I don't know when it's going to happen. But let's talk about. Hold on. I need to get Sarah Bennett on my show.
That'd be fantastic.
Have her on at some point.
Yeah.
We should do a crossover episode. Look at this. She's been kicking ass as your podcast host over there. I'd say it's more than a podcast when you're out in the real world. As your show host over there. Yeah,
it's a great show, and it's grown tremendously in the past year. And you know, she does more than just news and politics. She does a lot of stuff about what's going on in Dallas. She features a lot of different small business owners.
Yeah.
Things like that. Some lifestyle things as well.
Yeah. Constantly. She works more than me. Does Sarah.
Force of nature.
She really is. I mean, and again, like I don't know when she takes a break. She's got a family. It's the whole thing. When does she get a break? She doesn't get a break at all, right? No.
She's moving pretty fast most of the time.
What are you doing? You sit around and drink with me.
Yeah.
Like, I'm the only reason I'm not drinking now is because I actually can see, probably body dysmorphia, that I lose a lot of face weight. By the way, I just can't believe I blocked a really good. I got to figure out how to unblock that guy. I've lost a lot of face weight from not drinking over the past week. It just takes like 3 days off, and I got to be ready for this cruise.
Yeah.
So I can drink whatever it is, garbage.
On the cruise.
Yeah, I got to drink. I've never been on a cruise board. You have cruise tips for us? You're a fancy man. You're a fancy boy.
I won't do it. Never been. I'm scared of. Well, I don't want to be on vacation with that many people on a boat, and I'm scared of rotavirus.
Well, I mean, it's
not
reasonable.
my given time. The one cruise that I plan on doing is an Alaskan one because that's clearly the best way to see things.
Yeah. So I'm going to go to the Northern Lights with the Media Research Center cruise.
That's gonna be fantastic.
And I have not booked. You're supposed to book excursions, you know, when they pull into ports, and I haven't booked shit. And so I just think I'm going to get off. I have this plan. I have a big plan that I'm going to get off and just march into town on my own 2 feet, and just find coffee shops and shit. And
I think that'd be the way I would do it. Unless there's something
they want to pay. There's nothing worse to me. You know what we should do? Oh, Putnam.
But that's another reason I won't do a cruise. I don't want to have to line up to get off the boat and line up to get on the boat.
Putnam.
That's not my idea of vacation.
We should do a few things. Number one, we should do a tour of Dallas, you and I.
Oh yeah.
Like, is there like a tour boat type thing that goes around? You know what I'm talking about? There's no water.
I got to throw the helicopter. Let's do that.
Fuck. We should do a tour, and just I would love to do though Jasmine Crockett's district with you.
Oh yeah.
By
the way,
Will Kane talking
horribly misreported by the right-wing media as well, but
yeah, I think Will Kane talked about when I did. I was the first in studio guest for Will Kane, and he for his new studio in Dallas, and he was like, "We should go out in the district together." I'm like, "Yeah, I think it's a good idea. We should do that."
There's some interesting spots.
Oh, we could go see.
Actually, I love the Bishop Arts district, which I'm almost certain is in her district. The Kessler area in Oak Cliff, like up until about Jefferson Street, is actually developed really nicely. In fact, I saw a statistic the other day that in the last 5 or 10 years, it has the highest appreciation rate of anywhere in Dallas. It's like 400% appreciation.
Really?
Yeah, it's really nice. And they've done a heck of a job over there with Bishop Arts. It's artsy, but there's actually like a couple of the best restaurants in town, including the best Italian restaurant in town is over there. A place called Lucia. It's hard to get into.
I'm not a fancy man. I'm looking to stay in Beth Van Dyne's district here in Texas. That's my big thing.
All right, we're like right in my backyard in Highland Park.
Well, I like where I am over here, Grapevine, Capel, and Keller, I think, is part of it too. And I think actually Keller gets into Brandon's district.
It goes all the way to 35.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I am doing my best to stay in my friend's district.
Well,
Wait,
yeah,
hold
there's
on. Hey, where
plenty of great
does
places
Jasmine? Does I know this is going to sound stupid? Does she actually live in district? Is she ever actually in the district?
No, so the reason the story is being so misreported is because Jasmine's an attention hoe, and she made a big thing about her residents being drawn out of the district, which who knows if that was even purposeful, and it doesn't matter. There's a lot of Congress people that live outside the district that they represent. It is
Maxine Waters
not
does.
a legal requirement to live in your district. And so now the story's being reported, that she's out, because they made the district more competitive. It's not true. Her district is completely safe. Jasmine has raised a ton of money, which is why she does all those shows, because she has a huge small donor network, and there's no competition for that seat. None.
Yeah. Let's talk about a story that affects us both. It is your headline story. Let me pull it up.
The Southwest one?
Yes, you got to let me pull it up. Double or Nothing. Great title again. Southwest Sea Policy. You ever get sat next to a fatty?
Yeah, I flew internationally for 20 years. Yeah, sure.
I always think I'm too chunky for seats, and then I sit down, and then it's like some dude always some dude sits next to me.
I was on a flight once from Frankfurt to Dallas. That's not a short flight, and an Indian gentleman who didn't smell particularly good.
Yeah,
took off his shoes and socks and laid his feet in my lap.
What?
Yep.
What?
And I kept correcting. Then I told the flight attendant, it's nowhere else to sit. So I just the whole flight, I'm moving this guy's bare feet off of myself.
That's disgusting.
Yeah. Not the same issue, of course, but.
No, but I've sat next to and I always feel bad. Like so I got on a plane, I was first class from Pittsburgh to DC, and Fetterman was seat 1A. He was first class. But I give him the pass on that because he is so large. Because it's not just fat people. Like when you think about those seats, you got guys that get on that are 6.5 feet tall. They do not fit.
Right.
In those seats. And so he gets on, how tall is he? 6'7", something like that?
He's a big dude.
And he's easily 320, 350. And he's proportionate for his size, but
he's just large.
He can't get on a plane. He just can't fit on a plane. And so he was 1A, and he was very nice to the flight attendants and stuff, obviously. But I don't like the way he votes, but he sometimes says the right things. But he never votes correctly. But no, but that's one of those things. There's a lot of guys who might be forced. There will be normies. Obviously, you'll only hear from the fat women.
It's just money, right?
Yeah.
So aircraft utilization, of course, has gotten crazy. They have squeezed a lot more seats into planes than they used to, and cut the legroom back and everything else. And it can be uncomfortable, even if you're 5'9" like me,
yeah.
which is the only time I'm really happy about being under 6 feet tall is flying. But it's nice in that situation. But yeah, they got to sell so many seats to make money, right? And the airline business isn't, it's not the most wildly successful business from profitability point of view. So. Yeah, and it's a hard business to manage because you're constantly managing, seat utilization, et cetera. So it just makes sense. And then on top of that, you're creating discomfort for your other passengers. And if you're not in first class, it's not a fun experience these days.
No. But listen, I've got 1 million points on. I'm working on my 1 million points of.
I sat behind Jasmine, by the way, on a flight back from DC a couple of months ago, and from what I saw of her the other day, she may need 2 seats soon.
Really?
Oh yeah, there's the video where she called Trump a POS. You should check that one out.
A little. I'm trying to see. They did this video of the realities of traveling while fat, and they have not shown anybody. So see, this girl does not fit into. You can see you see where our shoulders and broadness end in both of our shots, but this woman keeps going. I just want to see one of the ones where they're trying to squeeze on a plane.
Maybe Maha will fix some of that for us.
What is happening here? Yeah.
People's behavior is getting crazy on planes too.
Oh, well, that goes without saying, friend. I mean, it's part of our. Hold on, what was the Jasmine Crockett?
It was the one. It was the interview where she called Trump a POS, and she's kind of leaning forward. It looks like maybe a litter Sharpazer fight under her.
No, no, this is from a while ago. Oh, that's from 3 weeks ago. Was that her from 3 weeks ago? Shannon Crockett. Okay, there we go. Well,
But you notice how that died down pretty quick about her staff problems?
Oh yeah. Well, I told you I went in the front of her office, right? Did we discuss that on here?
I don't know that we did.
I've been in her front office, and I've never seen somebody with more shit with their face on it anywhere. Period. Like literally just photos, bobbleheads. She's got a cardboard stand-up of herself. She's got everything in there.
Yeah, she's about self-promotion, that's for sure. And it's working for her. Again, like respect. Yeah. I hate when I actually don't like it when the media bags on her, makes fun of her, and calls her stupid.
You need to work on your internet, Putnam. What is happening?
I have good Spectrum internet. Am I not back?
You're back now. I don't know what's happening here.
I don't either.
Spectrum's terrible.
Anyway, I was saying that
they don't sponsor the show, but also Spectrum's been terrible for me here.
I'll switch when I move to
I'll give you all the recommendations.
All right, thanks. No, but I get it makes me crazy actually when right media, bags on her and makes fun of her and calls her stupid. She's not stupid. She's exploitive, but I call it ghetto theater. Like it's an act. It's totally an act. And fortunately, more people are starting to report on that. I think Sarah Gonzalez did something the other day that was pretty interesting with her at a town hall. But yeah, I mean, she went to private schools. I think she went to Rhodes.
Oh yeah.
She can speak like a normal person. It's just theater, but don't call her stupid. No. She was raised something like $4 million this year. When I ran for Congress, my opponent, who had been in Congress for 30 years, in the heart of the defense community, had $500,000 on hand. She's raised $4 million this year.
Can I ask you a question as I scroll through your Instagram page? You know what I ask, right?
No.
Who is Heather, number one? And why is she always wearing the same thing?
I can't tell you why she's always wearing the same thing. I mean, we do go for consistency.
That is, I know that's a thing.
Heather's a long time Dallas Express employee that predates me, and she always, and she always had a number of job functions. And then, I was just like, why don't we have her do reels?
Look,
she's not bad. She's not bad.
She's okay. But that's not the point. Hold on. This is finally, no. In every one of these reels, and obviously you update the reels. Obviously you have them regularly. There's new news. She's wearing the exact same thing. That I wouldn't have said anything otherwise.
I'll say so did Steve Jobs, right?
Well, that's true. And so does
we pay
Bannon, and I get pretty close to wearing this.
By the way, Heather, buckle up, Heather, because you're probably going to get a lot of clicks. By the way, I get to read some of the messages.
Oh, well, that's nice. Jeez.
She's a trooper. She's a trooper.
There you go. There's Eddie Garcia. But no, that
was a huge story for us. That was a huge story for us, by the way. We broke more than a month ahead of the announcement that he was going to be named Fort Worth Police Chief. The mainstream media made fun of us for that too.
Oh,
more than a month. But with the day that the city announced the finalists, we're like, it's him. That's how good our sourcing is, and that makes the Star Telegram absolutely nuts.
All right,
because we just break story after story. Again, Republicans or their elected officials, activists, they're just not going to talk to them. And
again, lots of reels, lots of information. Always good to have you here. Dallas Express News. I guess I'll hit the follow button on Instagram. There we are. Look, do what I just did. Go follow them on Instagram right now. Also,
or subscribe for free at DallasExpress.com.
That's the better place to go is subscribe for free, so then you can get an email directly delivered to you in your mailbox. Chris, I'm just exhausted tonight, and I pre-taped an interview I had a really, really good interview with Addison McDowell from North Carolina. So we're going to jump to that in a second here. But I want to thank you for being here as always. And when you come back, you got to come back to the studio. And when I build a thing, and when you build a thing,
love it in the
we'll
studio.
be doing it in our presence together.
Awesome. Have a great
Thank you,
interview
sir.
and have a great cruise.
Thank you. We'll talk soon. I'll talk to you probably tonight.
Thanks,
You're
everybody.
a late night text for me all the time. I'll see you, man. Bye.
All right. Take care.
All right. So I got to sit down with Addison McDowell the other day and talk about everything from Donald Trump's successes and cleaning up DC to the fentanyl issue in the country. And it's very, very intriguing. I very much so enjoyed it. Here's that interview now with Congressman Addison McDowell from North Carolina's 6th District. But Addison McDowell from North Carolina's 6th Congressional District. How you doing, man?
I'm good. I hope you are.
I'm doing pretty good. Listen, you come from a pretty safe part of the country, I think, although there's been some illegal immigrant problems there. What's it like now being able to walk around D.C. safe?
Well, I haven't been back since the president did what the mayor and whoever else couldn't do and clean it up. But, we've seen so many cities across our country, from L.A. to Chicago to, even right here at home in Charlotte, there was a murder yesterday. And you see this all over the place, and voters were sick of it. They wanted law and order, and they demanded that last November, and that's exactly what they're getting. President Trump, I'm grateful that he cleaned up the streets of Washington, D.C., so that when I go back, I don't have to look over my shoulder that there might be someone looking to do me harm that would have no idea I'm a member of Congress. That doesn't even matter. It's about the level of safety for anybody. And so, I'm grateful that when my constituents come to Washington to tour the Capitol or to tour the White House, they'll be safe. They need to know that they can be safe. And so that's a huge thing. But Tim, I'll be honest with you, there is nowhere I am more self-aware that I don't have a concealed carry permit than in Washington, because I did not feel safe. So I'm really grateful for the president for cleaning it up. And that's a promise he made, and it's one he kept. So I'm grateful for that, and look forward to get back and seeing the streets, because when folks from other countries, other leaders come to meet with President Trump, it is so important that when they see our capital city, that they see a clean, safe area. That does a lot. And when I say that I think that America is the best country in the world, I mean it. But there's a little asterisk in the past that said, yeah, but our capital city is a disaster because of the local leadership. And now it's the streets are cleaned up. You've got, the murder. There hasn't been a murder there in like 12 days. It took toughness and strength. That's what the president did, and that's why it's not hard if you care more about law-abiding citizens and protecting them than you do criminals. This is the result.
Yeah. As someone who was robbed at gunpoint in D.C., I wish I was concealed carrying that night when I was. I mean, you have no way of defending yourself, and even inside D.C. city limits, a lot of the laws, they don't allow you to have pepper spray or even the little batons. They don't allow you to have anything there apparently in D.C. to protect yourself. How dare you protect yourself, right? It's incredible.
Yeah.
Can you answer a question, because I really I need this to be answered by every congressman that I talk to, just so people stop complaining about it online. This is an easy one. When you are on recess, you don't take a vacation. That means you go back to your district to work, correct?
Correct. And we've traveled around the district pretty much every day. And it's not like we stop working. We're just working at home, and not from home. Like, we saw everyone start to do during COVID. This is just working in my hometown, and in my district, not in the District of Columbia. And so we've been to every county I represent multiple times. We've been out and about everywhere, and it didn't stop just because we weren't legislating in Washington. This is not a you get 1 month off paid vacation in August. No, this is we're going to go home and we're going to talk about what we've been doing for the last 6 months and what we're going to do for the next 6 months.
Yeah, it's like my congresswoman is Beth Van Dyne, and she came back on her recess and ran a job fair with 50,000 people. So at the stadium, you guys have to work constantly, and you have to constantly be you're up for re-election every 2 years. I couldn't imagine the job. I never want that job personally. People have asked me to run for Congress many times, and I'm absolutely never going to do it. I do not envy what you do. And of course, there's a lot of constituent work. It just never ends. Your work never ends. And God bless you for doing what you do. Let's talk about illegal immigration because it hits your district. You're in North Carolina. Now I'm in Texas, so it's a little closer to home here because we're closer to the border. But you have major problems in North Carolina, right?
Absolutely. And it's, the moniker that every state is now a border state. I feel a little bad saying that to a Texan, but we are, and we do have, we have illegal immigrants here, and as a matter of fact, there was one that was arrested who was released in Guilford County, which I represent part of, and he was released, and he's committed these heinous sex crimes, and that we don't want that here. And the voters were definitely clear where they stood on that. But the folks that I represent, they don't want those people here. I don't want them here. But we certainly have illegal immigration here in North Carolina, here in the 6th District, and it's I'm grateful to our president for putting a stop to it.
Yeah, and you are actually working to put a stop to it as well. I'll pull up your act here. Hold on, see, look at me doing my research with your comms team. You introduced the Alcatraz Act. How many people on the left screamed when you introduced the Alcatraz Act?
Yeah, I'm sure it was quite a few. But this is just common sense. Look, here's the thing: the Biden-Harris administration, they were putting up illegal immigrant criminals in 5-star hotels in New York City. They're getting the red carpet treatment when we've got homeless veterans on our streets. And so the fact that they're giving them cell phones and prepaid Visa cards and a 5-star hotel, that's absurd. And so what this bill does is it says that money will no longer go to funding these fancy hotel suites for these illegals, but we're going to build more things like Alligator Alcatraz, and let's get these folks processed and let's get them out of our country. That's what this bill does. We want to give ICE and Secretary Noem the tools they need to get these people in a location that gets them off our streets where they are a danger to all of us. Let's get them somewhere secure until we can get them processed and sent back home.
The immigration situation was such a scam on both the front and back end, allowing these people to come into the country, but then having all of these kind of left-leaning and phony religious organizations collecting money from the Biden administration to put people up. I mean, it's much cheaper. It's much more profitable for a hotel in New York City to be fully booked out and paid the maximum price by the federal government than having normal tourists come through. Did you see a lot of that in North Carolina, or were you guys? Because I'd imagine these nonprofits, these NGOs, all these groups took a lot of money, and they were in every state. I know there were obviously a lot along the border, but then they transported people over the country. Was there a lot of this there in North Carolina too?
I'm sure that there was. I mean, when we see these NGOs taking all of this money from the federal government, that is one of the biggest scandals that I can remember, or at least fraud. I mean, it's just outright fraud.
Yeah.
And so, we had that in North Carolina. We had it all over the country. But the most important thing is that we've identified it and we've said no more. We're going to stop this money from bleeding out of our economy and out of our country. And we're going to stop these wraparound, non-government agencies that are funding and assisting criminals coming into our country in the guise of being nice, or I don't know, man. The NGO system is broken. I think Doge and that team, they made that abundantly clear. And I think the folks that were hurt by that were everyday Americans, and the folks that benefited were those like Stacey Abrams, who made fortunes off of the government not doing its work.
Hey, Stacey and Beto have had a really good losing career, both of them. I mean, she's still imaginary. I think she's on her 4th term as imaginary governor of Georgia.
Yeah, I'm grateful for Beto because, the amount of money that these national Democrat groups have spent on him to try to win in Texas, more power to you. I think this is the year he's going to pull it off. So send all your money to Texas.
We are. Hey, I'm excited to watch the money go down the drain too. Who knows what he's lost the grand slam of everything though. He's lost Senate, Congress, governor, and I think a local race too at some point in there. He loses everything. I got to give the guy credit.
Man, he's undefeated.
But it's got to be good to be on that train because campaign money, man. He's got some sweet consultants out there making a lot of money, and those same consultants are probably all over the Democrat Party right now. I know you follow this. You're even though you're kind of out there a little bit more, and you are building your social media. But have you noticed that Democrats all of a sudden seem to be just copying everything that Donald Trump did on social media like 10 years ago?
Oh yeah. I mean, I think there's certainly a screw broke loose in Gavin Newsom's brain, or at least in his comms team's brain. But there's the best example is the tax on tips. As soon as the president started saying that, Kamala Harris, this is my idea, no tax on tips. It's just a lie and it's insincere. But they don't have their own message to run on, Tim, which is why they're trying to steal ours
and making red hats. I have to show you this. Obviously we're dealing with redistricting in Texas, and you guys just did it. Your map looks not gerrymandered at all. It looks very nice, actually. It looks like you guys actually understand how districts work in your state.
Yeah, I mean, if you go back, if you want to see a real gerrymandered district, go back and look at what the Democrats did in North Carolina just a few years ago before Republicans took control and provided maps like this. I mean, the Democrats, they drew a district that it went from, I'm trying to see on this map, it would have went from like part of district 5, 9, 6, 12, 8, 10, and 14.
Let me see if I can find it.
It's called the Snake District. They thought that wasn't gerrymandered. It was from Mel Watt. It was his district. But this is the region that I represent is a bunch of old mill towns that got hammered by NAFTA. It's primarily rural folks just like me that didn't feel like they had a voice in Washington, and now they do. I think the bigger thing though is like, yeah, we've got fair districts, but you want to look at like Chicago these liberal. I mean, it's unbelievable.
Hold on, I got to blow this up full screen so you can see it. This is, by the way, Wes Moore in Maryland says he's about to make things harder for Republicans. So this is District 3. If you can follow, can you see my cursor? It goes around there and it goes down there and then it comes up here.
No way.
It doesn't even. It's not the shape of anything.
No.
And then 2 goes around that, and then 7 goes around that. I don't even understand. 4 is down here all the way around. This makes no sense whatsoever. You can clearly see where 1 was at one point. 6 is out there. 5 is here. But then the rest of these, I grew up in Maryland. This is what happens when you have a supermajority of Democrats.
It's a jumbled mess. And probably not a lot of people know this about me, but I'm colorblind, so I'm having a real hard time following.
Oh, sorry.
No,
and of course, it's blue and green in the middle. But no, look, if you it's so unbelievable though that even at one point, and when I was looking this up earlier, the Washington Post said that it was a gerrymandered district. That's the amazing thing, is that the Washington Post was like how Democrats gerrymandered. It was like 7 or 8 years ago, how they gerrymandered their district. Now, if Texas justifiably or any other state justifiably redistricts using their population, using the shifts in population, how dare they? And it's the end of everything is the end of democracy.
Well, let's not forget though, in states like California, where they're counting illegal immigrants.
Yeah.
And so now our congressional representatives or our people are being represented by folks in Congress in an unfair way because you're counting non-U.S. citizens. And so I think that California probably has 2 to maybe 3 additional seats that they shouldn't have. And so, the Democrats have waged this gerrymandering war for a long time. And, it only hurts the American people when they do this. And it looks out for illegals, which is a shame.
One of the other things that affects you, obviously, in your district, affects everybody in America, and it's crazy how much it has spread, is the fentanyl crisis.
Oh yeah.
And for some reason, I lost my connection. I was about to pull up a screen here. But there's a new Make America Fentanyl Free campaign that President Trump has launched, obviously through all of his departments. It's a multi-department, multi-cabinet effort. I got to announce a piece of it this morning where they're giving money to help kids get off the streets and get clean. And how close to home does this hit you in your district? And like what? Yeah, like
yeah.
How
I mean, it's like
this?
it's the most important thing. I lost my little brother to fentanyl poisoning, and that's kind of what led me to run for office. And there were, countless times over the last 4 years where I felt like Joe Biden and Kamala Harris were spitting on the grave of my little brother. They were insulting my family by saying that this wasn't an issue. Cartels, we would love you to come to the United States. We're going to open our borders wide up, bring all the drugs in. And that was a slap in the face to families like mine who have lost somebody to this poison. And, I can't tell you the number of people that I went to high school with, that I grew up around, went to church with, that have been killed by this drug. And, you're never more than 1 degree away from somebody that has lost someone. And that's a problem. And, it's a burden that I'm happy to carry, that when I go places, folks, they want to come and tell me, I lost my whoever to fentanyl. And, it reminds me this is a problem, and it's a problem that it doesn't matter if you're white or black, rich or poor, it doesn't matter. This stuff will kill you. I mean, this is what killed Tom Petty. This is what killed Prince. And it's also what kills these folks that have nothing. And so it's a real problem. I'm so grateful to our president, who, for the very first time I met him, was right after I lost my little brother. And he asked me, he was like, do you mind sharing what happened? And I said, not at all. We think it was this. And he said, well, there's a huge problem with fentanyl in our country. And I remember asking him, I was like, sir, when you win, please focus on this. And he has. And, there was a lot of work that was undone by the last administration. But this is something that everyone knows somebody. And I say this sometimes, and I believe it, but this is it's a slow drip nuclear weapon that our adversaries are putting into our country. It's killing military age men and women at a massive rate. And we have, China manufacturing the stuff and sending it to Mexico. And thankfully we've been able to put a stop to a lot of the drugs that are funneling over our border. Didn't take any laws, just took a president that cared. And, we're starting to see it kind of go out into other countries. The cartels are moving their operations to places like Haiti and Venezuela, and then it's coming through our ports. And so you just saw the president send some warships into the sea to combat this stuff. And, I love to see it. If there's a boat full of, narco gang members with a bunch of drugs on it, you send them to the bottom of the ocean, because that's where they belong. Because they're killing our brothers and our sisters and our children, and it's got to stop. And so when I saw that this morning, the get rid of Make America Fentanyl Free. I saw that this morning, and it was really, just meant a lot that we have an administration that so obviously cares for no other reason than we don't want this stuff killing people anymore.
Yeah, I just don't understand. I can't wrap my head around the fact, just on a 50,000 foot level, that Democrats are out protesting that how dare Donald Trump bring the National Guard into Washington, D.C. to keep it safe. How dare Donald Trump shut down the border and get rid of these violent offenders? How dare he protect people? And, for me, not to talk a little bit about myself here, but I grew up in Southwest Baltimore, and my high school, I was in Baltimore County. We were just on the other side of the line in Maryland. And my high school was number one in narcotics in the county. It's the fourth largest county in America, and number one in narcotics in the county. And so you see this, I knew kids that overdosed in middle school. And I don't understand how Democrats, again, in a state like Maryland, a supermajority Democrat, how everyone doesn't just come together and become unified on this, because it literally, you're right. Everyone is literally 1 degree of separation away from someone who has died from fentanyl or something very
Well,
close.
now we're getting xylazine is a even more potent synthetic version of a horse tranquilizer. I mean, what they're not sending this stuff over to do anything good. They're trying to kill people, and it's working. And so, I hope that that these folks have enjoyed their business success. These cartels, I hope they've enjoyed it while it lasted, because we have a president that is not going to tolerate it, and I will do everything in my power to back him in ridding this stuff out of our streets. It's a promise that I made on the campaign trail, and I have every intent of keeping that promise.
Congressman Addison McDowell, let's end on a high note. So far, since you've been a member of Congress, what has been your either your proudest moment or the most fun? Actually, it might be 2 different things. Your proudest moment and the most fun thing that you've gotten to do while you've been a member of Congress. Fun one might be a hard one.
My proudest moment was probably definitely involves my kids and my wife. I mean, I think being sworn in and having them there with me really meant a lot. During orientation, I changed my now 9-month-old's diaper on the floor of the house, which you think about it, she very well may be the only human ever to have their diaper changed on the floor of the house, even though, some of my colleagues are quite old.
I was going to say Joe Biden did it in the White House.
That's just neat. And, my daughters get to grow up in close proximity to some incredible women. I think of Dr. Virginia Fox, who her district borders mine, and my daughters are going to get to grow up around her. And that's very cool and very special. And getting to, take the oath of office with my 2 daughters there, because I'm fighting for a country that they're going to inherit, and I care. And so that's been really special. But I think the coolest thing was going to the Oval Office with my wife and getting to see the president in the Oval Office. There was a lot of hard work that went into getting it back in there, and getting to bring my wife with me. That was just cool, man. No other way to put it. I'm a redneck from Davidson County, North Carolina. Like, I never thought I'd be in the Oval Office, and getting to bring my wife was really cool.
Did you get one of those big
that thing's a
challenge
frisbee?
yet?
That thing's yeah. My wife took the pen. She took the Sharpie that he gives away. My wife took that, wouldn't let me have it. So, but we both got a little challenge.
I love it. One day when I grow up, I want one of those challenge coins. I got to get to the Oval Office at some point, but we're working on it. Congressman Addison McDowell, North Carolina's 6th congressional district. I'm going to have all the information to follow you up. It'll be in the box above here on the podcast.
You got it, Tim. Thank you, man.
Today. All right. Well, that is going to do it for today's show. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I want to thank our sponsor, Kalshi, as always. Glad they're here. Glad you guys were here. Make sure you hit the retweet button. Make sure as many people as possible get to see that. I'm glad that you guys are here. I will be, if you're going to be there, I'm going to be on the MRC cruise on Friday, Saturday. I don't know. I'm headed Thursday to go to Europe and hang out with a bunch of good conservatives. So I'm looking forward to that. Looking forward to seeing all you guys in person later on this week. And of course, looking forward to seeing you guys when I get back. Might be a little bit before I do a live. I think I'm going to update with little videos along the way when I'm on this cruise, and we'll have a good time. So thank you guys. Thank you, Tammy, Shuck. I got to figure out how to unblock. God, that was dumb. Big apology out for blocking. I knew it's so weird when you see how the when I click on it, it gives you an option to show or block. And I hit the block button on a good commenter. So my apologies there. I'll try to figure it out. And I want to thank you guys for all being here. Shell, everybody that's been here, Buckster, everybody that supports us. And I will see you very soon. Of course, we'll give you updates from Norway. And yeah, have a good one. Be safe. And hit the retweet button. Thanks for being here. Like, share, subscribe if you're on the other platforms. So make sure you follow Congressman McDowell is one of the good ones. So